Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of High Risk, a pro wrestling podcast that's by the fans, for the fans. I'm Matt Sharp, joined by my co-hosts Scott Colley and Noah Sharp. Guys, how we doing?
Doing all right.
I'm feeling better than I did last week. Because I think the Jinder Mahal thing is I've calmed down. You know, I'm feeling a little. I've accepted it more. I think so. It's
good. I mean, it was a little, irrational.
We're not going back down this road. No, we're not going to go back down this road.
It's fine. It's all right.
I feel like part of the reason why you're feeling better this week is because you have your new fancy headset, wireless, so we won't have to. You can back up and jump around and do everything that you do since you can't seem to sit still, and we'll still be able to hear you. So
true. I mean, I've taken a couple of laps around my apartment already with them, so quite fancy.
Right on. Well, guys, we got Extreme Rules coming up. So on this episode, we're definitely going to make some predictions, and me and Noah, we kind of tampered around with some game capture stuff the other day. Still got to work out some kinks there, but so now, if me and Scott end up tying again, we can battle it out on 2K, and we can show the world who the real champion is.
Except I am still the rightful winner at the moment. Just want to throw that out there.
And Noah, the reason why we don't include you is because you're just not on the level yet. You're not there.
My predictions may be off, but I like to think that my predictions are what the true fans are looking for.
Well, that's great and all, but you're still not winning these competitions, so does it really matter?
I'm just gonna be the people's champ. That's all that matters.
Well, you got to win in order to be a champ.
You know what? I'm a champion in my heart.
Scott, Noah comes from this generation that's coming up where they need a participation ribbon or trophy.
Do you need a pat on the back since you tried?
I think that there's things like this need to be settled in a professional manner. I will reserve all further comments for later, but we can settle this professionally elsewhere.
Okay. All right. Well, Noah's getting a little hot over here.
It's whatever. It's whatever.
Getting a little offended. It's okay. Well, guys, this week, to me, even though Raw is the show that has the pay-per-view coming up this weekend, to me, Smackdown kind of stole the show, and we'll get into all that later. Scott's definitely going to have some stuff to say as far as all that goes.
I always have something to say. It just comes with the territory.
For Raw, the one thing that stands out, and we've kind of touched on it before we went live, is the wannabe Mankind and Rock segment. The This Is Your Life between Alexa Bliss and Bayley, and let's just go ahead and get that disaster out of the way first. I just don't think it was very well done. I feel like, why are we going? It worked before, but there's such thing as too much of a good thing, So, thoughts, questions, concerns? No. Okay.
No. Moving on. Hang on. Do you think that Bayley and Alexa, like, they could have redone this segment, but I don't agree with it being Bayley and Alexa. I would have, I don't know. It's such, a thing that I feel like Alexa would do, but I just don't feel like it was the right person for it to be done to Bayley, I guess. Whenever it was done to The Rock, it was very sort of like, hey, this is a high and mighty man. He's all about himself. And this is sort of to embarrass him a little bit. As to where with this, it was, Bayley is supposed to be just Bayley, a normal Joe Schmo like us. So I just feel like the dynamic of what they were trying to capture, it didn't really fit.
Well, I think if I remember correctly, I didn't get a chance to watch Raw, but I heard some people talk about it. Wasn't there one line in it when it was like Bailey's friend, and she said like, we were like best friends and still until she started watching that show or whatever, and they almost like buried themselves by saying it in the way they said that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like why bury yourself? They're already at almost record low viewers, so why are you trying to bury yourself even more than you already have?
Yeah, it was just I feel like it goes back to they were forcing it too much. They knew what they wanted to create and recreate with what they had with The Rock and Mick Foley, but it comes down to a lot of things, like what Noah said with The Rock and Mick Foley. That dynamic, it just kind of fit. With the jab kind of going towards Bailey, it just doesn't. I don't know. It just It just doesn't. Yeah.
It's weird having a heel doing this to a face. I don't know, like, the only heat that they got from it is just natural. We don't like this. Like, I'm really curious who was behind the creative for this idea, because I don't know. Hopefully, it wasn't something that Alexa and Bailey then actually thought it was a good idea to kind of go through.
I don't think those two have enough pull backstage that they could do that. I could see, like, in the women's division, I could see, like, maybe a Nikki Bella making a move like that because she's been around for so long and she has respect, or like a Natalya. But I don't see Bailey and Alexa Bliss pulling that just because they're still relatively new to the main roster. I don't feel like they have that pedigree yet no pun intended, to come up with their own material.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I hope for the sake of their credibility that it wasn't them, just because of how awful it really was.
Well, to me, Scott, I don't know if you watched the Table for Three that's out right now. Did you watch it?
Which one?
It's Jim Cornette,
Mike PSAs, and Eric Bischoff.
The last one I watched was AJ Styles, Shawn Michaels, and Kevin Nash, right? Is he the third guy?
Yeah, okay, well, definitely go and watch this one. There's a comment made, I don't remember who's the one that said it, but it's like, basically what he was saying was, whether or not a storyline or a gimmick or a segment or whatever fails or whatever, that is dependent on the talent and whether or not you can get the talent enough on board with it to get it to go over. And to me, this is a prime example of that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah. I feel like
a bad idea is a bad idea all day long, no matter if The Rock is on board with it, Stone Cold, AJ Styles, Bailey. It doesn't matter. If it's a bad idea, it's a bad idea. Mm-hmm. So, and I think this segment just goes to prove that what was said on that episode of Table for Three. Again, I don't remember who said it, but this goes to show that that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch it. I have a question for you, Matt. Would you say how they've handled Alexa Bliss since the Superstar shakeup? Would you agree with a lot of things? Do you feel like she's as over as she could be? What's your thought?
I mean, I definitely think I wouldn't say she's at her highest point now, but I mean, it's kind of hard for me to say because I wasn't really watching a lot of SmackDown back when she was on there, so I can't really compare.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get at. Since you didn't watch, what do you think of her right now? Are you kind of like, do you care?
I mean, she is probably one of the reasons why I watch, just because I like what she does on the mic. She can wrestle. She can storytell. I don't know. I think with Raw right now, overall, I'm just kind of like dragging through the mud. So
see, that's what I was kind of trying to get at, is to see how they have the same characters, one in a SmackDown mindset of how, like, and what I mean by that is how they book SmackDown and then take that same person basically in the same spot, because she has the title now on Raw and she had it on SmackDown, to see like how the same people are utilized differently in different situations. And to me, it almost shows that Raw, just how they book things and the segments they do, just just don't make sense. Doesn't matter who you have, that they're not all. I mean, I'm sure she probably does the best she can in a lot of those situations, but when she was on SmackDown, she was really good, and I don't. From what I've understood on Raw, is she's okay, but it doesn't sound like it's nearly as good as whenever she was on SmackDown and doing things the way SmackDown does it.
Yeah, I think a lot of factors that could be going into that is that going from SmackDown to Raw, it's a different writing team. They maybe haven't had the longest time to write for Alexa, and this is just kind of going off the fly.
Well, really, SmackDown. I mean, she came up at the draft last year, and she had the title by December. So to me, SmackDown really didn't really know. You can't say SmackDown had a whole lot of experience.
Well, yeah, but they got lucky. We'll say that they wound up getting something really good out of it. I'm happy that they got something really good out of it. But I mean, they could have just as easily fell into the same trap where Raw is right now. Is that she's over, but she's not as over as she could be. I mean, I really liked everything she's done. I feel like this is her first real pitfall on Raw, at least. Just this entire segment. But I mean,
it seems like this program with Bayley is just not a great program.
No, when we go to Raw, or at least looking at SmackDown, who are some real leaders of the women's division over there? Charlotte, Natty, Naomi, just because of her tenure, how long she's really been there. You could say Tamina even. But then if you look at...
Well, you just named over half of them.
Yeah, over half of them. Well, exactly. So I'm saying now go to Raw. Who are some leaders over there?
Well, yeah, you have Sasha Banks, which they haven't. She's on 205 Live now, which is a totally different story.
Exactly. So my thing is, they
got Mickie James.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the way they're writing for her. Either I mean, if you ask me, you ask me, the story right now is between Mickie James and Alexa Bliss. That's where I'd be writing everything right now. I would have held off on Bayley for a little bit.
Well, they've pushed Bayley so hard the past 6 months that it's almost they can't just see. Did you guys see? Since we're talking about the women's division, did you see Nia Jax's tweet that she sent out a couple days ago?
No, I fill us in.
I got to get the exact words. Basically, what she said was that it's great how the SmackDown women's division actually utilizes all the girls. I'll see if I can't find.
I mean, just that little.
It was that because she hasn't been on TV in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then whatever happened to
here it is.
Brooke and Emma?
Here it is. So Nia Jax's tweet says, "Wow, first ever Money in the Bank women's ladder match, which we will get to. Mm-hmm. Amazing how SmackDown Live uses their entire women's roster every Tuesday."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what baffles me is when Raw has a 3-hour show, how do you not have time? How do you not have time? When SmackDown, they have an hour less and newer talent, and look at what they're able to do with that.
Yes, but at the same time, right now, how they're booking the women's division, it's all one segment. They don't have... You can't really say they have multiple women's storylines going on right now. I mean, they kind of do, in the background. You got, Charlotte and Naomi who haven't finished. Yeah. But for the most part, it's this Money in the Bank match, and that is the women's division right now. It's not multiple different segments of the same show. I will give you that benefit for Raw, that it's like one segment to one segment.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. Raw has the ability and the potential to use all of them, because there was, just a couple weeks ago, we were getting developments on Dana and Emma Brooke, and their little back and forth. Nia was still somewhat tied into the belt a little bit, and now just all the other women have fallen off the map, and we're just focusing on Bayley and Alexa. And I don't know, I just based on some of the matches that Bayley and Alexa have had, I don't know, just something about that matchup doesn't excite me, and something about Bayley's wrestling anymore doesn't excite me. And
it's crazy because her and Sasha were putting on great matches and stuff, and it takes two. It wasn't all Bayley, it wasn't all Sasha. So I'm kind of wondering why is it Bailey that's watering down, or is she not happy with where she's at and that's showing in the ring? Is it the writing? What is it?
I think it comes down, also goes back to the storytelling, how they've booked Bailey and how they have booked or not booked, depending on how you want to look at it, Sasha Banks.
Mm-hmm.
She's on 205 Live now.
Yeah.
And that says it all, how they're utilizing these people.
I'm oddly okay with that. I'm not.
Well, at least she's getting TV time. I can't blame them for not getting TV time.
But just I don't know. I don't know.
We've talked about Bailey in the past, about how, to me, they completely ruined Bailey. How they should have had her winning that championship at WrestleMania. She should not have touched that championship before Mania, because that would have been the big pop, that they were looking for. Not wasting her win, if you want to call it that, and Charlotte's streak at Fastlane.
Yeah.
Less than a month before Mania. Why would you do that? That is stupid.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we can move on. We've talked about the women for a while, so we can turn.
Other stuff on Raw, I'll just touch on it really quick. We got a lot of build up to the Fatal 5-Way that's coming up. That's about the only thing I'm really excited for, and I'm really even not that excited about it. Just because I know what the term Extreme Rules means nowadays. But we had Samoa Joe defeat Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor. And then we also had Roman Reigns defeat Seth Rollins. I'm not happy to admit that at all.
Was it a good match? Or you didn't watch it? Never mind.
Well, no, we ended up catching that match. The one thing that pissed me off, and Roman fans, I love you, you're wrestling fans, you have a spot in my heart, but holy hell, when you take a turnbuckle bomb, or whatever he calls it, and he came right out of that move and hit Seth with a Superman punch. He
afterwards, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, but he also was the first one to get up. So, to me, I understand they were trying to maybe tell that story as that was his last ditch move, that was all he had left. But it just didn't come off that way to me at all, and that might be my own bias coming into play. But it's just like, yet again, here's Roman taking this big move that normally lays somebody out, and he comes out of it and hits his signature. Like, come on. Yeah,
that exact move, what you're talking about, I was listening to the Wrestling Observer Radio, and Dave Meltzer brought that up, and apparently that is a very New Japan thing to do. They do that type of stuff where, you take this big hit and you come back real quick with just another big hit, then you both just, pass out from, the big move, exchanging the moves.
Yes. But you got to be careful with it and how you do it, because to me, I understand that, and now, okay, it makes sense, and they're right. That is what they do. But I don't know. To me, it's just different. And again, it might be the fact that I don't like Roman. That could be it. But Noah, I don't know.
I'm my mind is going into a good old whirlwind over here, because I'm just they sort of do that all the time with Roman. Say that it's a very New Japan thing.
It is, but it isn't, because that's a very Vince thing.
That's a very Vince thing for Roman Reigns to do. Because it's not the first time that he's taken a buckle bomb and done that, because I think it was at last year's Battleground or something.
Yeah.
That exact same spot happened.
Mm-hmm.
So
it might have been Money in the Bank. Didn't they fight at Money in the Bank, and then Dean came in after?
Yeah, it was probably there. Yeah.
That's the only reason I remember that, is because Dean comes in after and cashes in.
Yeah.
Which I thought about that. I'm like, man, we haven't seen the Money in the Bank contract since last Money in the Bank. I didn't even think about it that way. But
I don't know.
Yeah. I had another question. That's what I was thinking. So do you think that the two guys, so Roman and Seth, for instance, are they planning these matches, or do we have somebody backstage telling them what the match needs to do and what moves they need to do in that match?
I feel like they're calling it on the spot.
I feel like you gotta have a little bit of something what's gonna happen beforehand.
I mean, there's probably 3 or 4 different spots that they have figured out, and then they're calling, point A to B, they're calling.
Yeah, the stuff in the middle.
I bet one of the things that they called was probably the Roman Reigns drive-by that was supposed to hit like Seth in between the post.
Yeah, that was dirty.
That was
it didn't really look.
Yeah, they didn't look good at all. That was probably something that was called, and then the buckle bomb into the Superman punch was probably called as well. But anything else, no. I mean, a lot of that stuff they usually call on the fly, anyways. But
okay, that was just a thought.
Yeah.
You can continue.
One of the things that I don't want us to just gloss over, the fact that Samoa Joe actually won against Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor in a triple threat. The fact that Samoa Joe has been on here for so long and
what was the finish of that match, though?
The fact that I don't care what the finish was.
You don't? Would you like to know?
I'm pretty sure he pinned Finn. Let me know. Lay it on me.
I don't think so. Let me check here real quick. You can continue. I'll get the information.
But just the fact that here's Samoa Joe, he won over Finn Balor, which is true to their entire feud in NXT. That makes sense. I'm happy with that. Bray probably tried to do some shenanigans or whatever, but just the fact that Samoa Joe is picking up W's when for the longest time he was a ghost is just something I'm pretty happy to see from somebody who was a good old TNA guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, well, and that, to me, it just makes me wonder who's going to win this fatal 5-way match, because, I mean, Finn right now is the only person, and again, I didn't catch all of Raw, so to our listeners, if I'm wrong, then call me out on it, or Scott, because Scott lives for that. But Finn right now is the only person who has had contact with Paul Heyman or anything within the Brock circle of things. Again, I don't know if Paul came out and addressed any of the other guys, so at first I was like, okay, it's probably going to go to Finn. Well, now Samoa Joe is looking strong, which he should. Mm-hmm. And to me, that could be a good match. But then, you know, Seth, he was kind of on fire for a while too. And then here we have Roman coming up to get the win. So kudos to them, because as a fan who has watched for many years, and there's rare moments when I don't know which way something is going to go. Normally you can kind of guess it, but for this, I don't know what they're going to do, and I don't know if that's because maybe they still don't know what they're going to do or what.
Okay, I found out the finish of this match.
All right.
So Finn Balor hits the coup de grace on Bray Wyatt, and then Samoa Joe comes over and throws Finn out of the ring, and then Samoa Joe pins Bray Wyatt from Finn Balor's finisher.
That's a good win for him and his.
Except that, okay, yeah, I'm not saying. I mean, yes, Joe has the W, but he got the W from Finn Balor's finisher.
Well, but they're
protecting Finn Balor's finisher.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, what he could have done.
But that's not his heel style. I mean, he's not the chicken shit heel. He's the heel that just beats the crap out of you.
Well, he probably saw the. Well, he probably was like, I don't want to waste time and put the Kakina clutch on him, so I'll just go ahead and pin him while he's here. They probably saw the convenience of that.
It's definitely a dirty way to do it. It's not the best way, because it wasn't his move that did it. It was Finn.
Well,
but
like you guys said, I think
that's what Samoa Joe is. He's that I don't care what I have to do to win. I'm just gonna win.
Yeah. Well, I think part of it is they got to have Joe look just as strong as strong going into this. I don't know as strong as everyone else, but got to look strong so that he's just as believable as any of the other guys in this match.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's why, and that also keeps Finn as a viable winner for this match, because his finisher won the match, even though Joe actually won the match.
Well, I mean, looking at all 5 of the competitors, I mean, I think that it's safe to say that Joe looks to be the weakest link in potential to win, just because we haven't seen him as much on Raw doing stuff.
I think I would, in a booking standpoint right now, I guess I haven't watched Raw enough to know, but I would say Bray probably was the weakest out of these.
Well, my thing is, what I was going to kind of segue into is that all these guys, except for Joe, even though he's probably going to work his way into, have some sort of history with, be it Brock Lesnar or the Universal Championship. Bray dabbled in like remember when they were planning on booking a feud between Bray and Brock? That never happened, so they could easily just
at
pick
the
up on
Rumble
that.
last year.
Mm-hmm.
Or Seth still hasn't gotten his Universal Championship reign yet. He's in there. Roman Reigns is a pick because he's Roman Reigns, and Vince gets off on that.
Well, and he got screwed out of the title shot at WrestleMania.
Exactly. So, I mean, most of these guys, and then Finn, he was the first champion, and I mean, obviously, so he has his connections there. Everybody has a connection to be it Brock Lesnar or the Universal Championship. So, the person who really kind of needs the push into it would be Samoa Joe. Or you could use Samoa Joe as a surprise win, which I'd be fine with, because I would personally love to see a Brock Lesnar Samoa Joe match. I think that their dynamics would mesh well with each other, as long as if Brock would show up for a couple of promos. Mm. But, you know, it just depends on how much WWE wants to pay in millions to bring him out for a 2-minute segment.
Right. Right. Well, I got one more thing to add about Raw, and then we'll go to SmackDown, unless you guys have anything else to say about Raw.
Nope. Well, I was going to say, so when you want to finish up Raw, you want to go ahead and do predictions on Raw, since we're talking about it, for Extreme Rules, since you're already here.
Yeah. Let me get this one bit of information out. This is probably the most important thing that happened on Raw. Titus O'Neil beat Kalisto. Let's get on with the predictions.
Okay.
I just think that's ridiculous. Like, really? Come on. Like, nobody wants to see that.
Well, at least they got TV time. Yeah. So, all right. We'll start with Sasha Banks and Rich Swann versus Alicia Fox and Noam Dar. Matt?
Do we have to?
It's on my list, so yes.
Sasha Banks and whoever she's with.
Yeah, Sasha Banks.
Whoever she's with. Yeah, I would think Sasha as well, just because you wouldn't bring her over to 205 and then just have her lose.
Yeah, I think this shouldn't be a feud that they're gonna double in too long with. This.
No, I just think they wanted to pull her over to 205 Live to get hopefully some big name power. Well, I mean, it's a good thing that you have a woman as your big name power to try to draw you into 205 Live. I think that's really cool.
It's cool, but it's just kind of, it's not as cool as it could be from like a competitor standpoint. Like,
I mean, they're
cool
doing it
205 Live, but like
because they need viewers. They're not necessarily doing it because, I mean, they could be better situations. Yeah. Anyway, next Cruiserweight Championship: Neville versus Austin Aries in a submission match.
Neville, and that is just not Neville. What did I say? I was thinking Austin.
Oh, you already said it.
No. Hang on. Yeah, going back. Austin Aries, because I love his submission, the Last Chancery. I like that. That's the only reason why I'm going for the A-double talent.
I'm gonna go with the AAA, AAA battery talent, the Aries of Austin. Austin Aries, that's his name.
I mean, if all goes well, they could easily steal the show again, because they put on the most technical match on Mania, and that was regarded as probably the best match at Mania, aside from Roman v. Taker, just because of, sentimental, but don't sleep on those two. They can put on good matches.
Since you guys both went Austin Aries and we can't have all the same predictions, I'll go ahead and go with Neville. That's fine.
If they don't give it to Austin Aries this time, send him back down to NXT, because I just feel like I'm kind of burnt out on Austin Aries and this little thing he's got going on with the Cruiserweight title. To me, it's more hassle than what that title's worth.
Agreed. Like, if you're going to invest all that time into it, then go for a United States Championship.
Exactly.
Or something. Like, come on.
Granted, he doesn't have a choice.
Yeah.
All right, Tag Team Championship and a Steel Cage. Hardy Boys versus Sheamus and Cesaro.
I wish I was more excited. I don't know. Raw's just been, I don't know. I'm not excited for this either. I'm going to go with Sheamus and Cesaro.
Yeah, see, I'm going to say the same thing.
Gosh, you guys are
I'm
just...
making it hard.
We're actually broadcasting from the same place today, so
Yeah.
our wavelengths are more in tune.
Mm-hmm.
So this is probably going to happen quite a lot.
It's probably because you guys also using the same headset, right? Or headphones right now.
There is some electricity going. That's probably is. We probably are tied into each other. That's probably a logical way of looking at it.
Now, for that match, I think that the Hardys being back is cool, but they've already fell into the pit of the Dudleys. It's sad, but it's true. Like you're back and it's cool, but what are you doing? You know,
maybe they'll do a little stint where they really just do not like ladders.
Yeah,
maybe that would work.
That'll probably really
they
get
just
them over.
refuse to do anything with ladders.
Mm-hmm.
It's never been done before. I think that'll work. Scott, what do you think for that match?
Who do I think is going to win? Or are you talking no ladders? I'm confused at the moment.
Who do you think is going to win?
Oh, okay.
I already know you think the ladders is a good idea and that's where they should go. But
all right. So I got this, and then I want to talk about something else when we do it. I'm going to go with the Hardy Boys because if rumors are true and they are splitting up in zone cast, it's a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the Hardy Boys are the only face tag team. And if you do that and they don't have the championships, to me, it's kind of like, what are they going to do?
Let it be known that your boy called the disbanding of Enzo and Cass, like a week or two ago?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's 100% yet.
And
I'm saying there's a chance.
And all the people involved with this podcast, from the editors to the other two jabronis right here with me, said that it was too soon and it wasn't going to happen.
I mean, I never argued with you about it. I just said I thought there was other ideas that...
The only person that you banter with is Noah. You leave me out.
Oh, okay. I will. You're asking for it. I'm already in a war with my sister-in-law. I will go into a war with you too. I have no problems with it.
I'm waving the white flag.
Okay, that's what I thought. Back down. That's what I thought.
I don't want none.
So I'm gonna go with, like I said, Hardy Boys. That, and I think, if you do take away the belts from the Hardy Boys, I think, like you said, they're going to go into the Dudley Boys situation.
But here's my thing. I think they're already there. I think they're already... Yeah, well, I think the Hardys are already where that was...
He's just going to keep talking.
We need a soundbite of that.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, that's what he said? They said, I'm not done yet? Oh, I thought he said, go on ahead, man.
No, he said, I'm not done yet.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Scott.
And here we thought that whenever we first started this, we wouldn't have enough to say, and here we are talking over each other.
Go on ahead, Scott, my bad.
I was going to say, if you do take the titles away from them, then they turn into Dudley Boys, but until you do the broken thing, which who knows when that's going to happen, but I feel like at least with keeping the belts on them, they stay relevant for now. I mean, obviously you can't have the belts on them forever, but I don't think Sheamus and Cesaro is the tag team to do it with. Does that make sense? I feel like there could be other teams that would be a better feud. Like, what's the Revival going to do when they come back? You know? Are they just going to have some feud with some random other tag team? I mean, unless it is Enzo and Cass, and then they start feuding with Enzo and Cass. But
yeah,
I just don't know.
Well,
anyways, long story short, I'm going with Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Next, Intercontinental Championship, no champions advantage, so title can change hands on DQ. Dean Ambrose, The Miz, go.
I predict the return of CM Punk and CM Punk for the win.
You see, that's the thing, though. Scott's actually writing it down, so he's going to hold you to it.
I don't care about this match. I care more about the Cruiserweight match.
If he was going to come back, he would have came back in Chicago a couple weeks ago. Jeez, man, get your stuff together.
Okay, fine. I'm going to say... I'll go with Miz. I like the Miz better than Dean. I don't want either one of them. For the record, I don't like that this is the option that I'm being given.
Now you see, like, this is going to be awkward because I want The Miz to win too, and this is like the third time we're like agreeing.
This is the fourth time.
Dean,
this is the fourth time.
Put me as Dean.
Just because Matt doesn't care how this match ends.
Yeah.
All of the above, if you could, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say because of this, the DQ thing. I think is what really. I think the Miz is gonna take it because of the DQ thing. So,
So
it's a way to get the belt off of Dean without hurting Dean.
So you two say the Miz?
Yeah.
See, I automatically lose that one. That's okay because my other ones are right. So okay. Next.
Well, you lose this one regardless, Matt,
Next.
because you don't want either of these two to win.
Next.
Women's Championship, kendo stick on a pole. Alexa Bliss versus Bayley.
Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss.
I'm not changing my answer.
I'm not changing my answer. Here's the thing, though. If there's anybody who should win in a kendo stick on a pole match, it should not be the lovable, huggable Bayley. Because that is not in her character. That is... I see Bayley as someone who would not want to hit anybody with a kendo stick, or retrieve it off of a pole if that actually is what the extent of the match is.
I feel like with Bayley, the best route to go back with Bayley right now is just to tear her completely down and start from scratch. Just have her be that complete, like a legit complete underdog who loses like everybody and just start from scratch with her.
A female Sami Zayn.
Yes. Okay, number one contender, Fatal 5-Way. Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt versus Samoa Joe.
As I said, all these guys, except for Joe, although he can easily be put in there, have some sort of connection with Brock and the Universal Championship. So this probably is the hardest one. I mean, it should be the hardest one to pick.
Yeah, it's good. That means you don't know what to expect. So that's exactly how you should go into like a match like this. Don't know who's going to come out on top.
I think that they're going to hold out on Roman Reigns and Brock for quite a while. I don't think they're going to jump the gun on that too soon. So I feel like it's safe to say that Roman can be counted out. And depending on the length of Brock's stay...
No, we still got 2 more shows to get through. Come on.
Okay. So, just going through, Samoa Joe.
Okay.
Finn Balor.
Okay. I'm going to go with Seth, first off, because he's probably my favorite out of these 5.
Yeah.
And also because whoever wins this match is not going to beat Brock. So I think Seth is probably going to be the best person in that match to make Brock look like a complete monster.
Mm.
So that's my pick. All right. So that is Extreme Rules. We will see what happens on Sunday.
All right. So we're going to shift gears to Smackdown Live. The one thing, they stole the show yet again this week for me. And for me, it's the chaos that was the precursor to the women's Money in the Bank match. And I can't believe I'm saying that. The women get the Money in the Bank match too. Oh my gosh.
And where are you guys going to be at when that match happens?
We're going to be over here planning your demise.
Oh, okay.
Because for those of you that maybe didn't listen to last week or whatever, Scott is... I guess he's going to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
You had the option. I asked you in January when tickets went on pre-sale if you wanted to go, and you said no.
I don't recall.
Well, I got the text messages to prove it. Well, I didn't text you.
Definitely didn't get invited.
Yeah.
No, I just think it's funny that, like, I mean, Scott, I'm a little bit of why you got into this, you know, why you got into wrestling and stuff today. So the fact that, and I've been watching since I was 4, you know, and the fact
and
that
who's the one going to the Money in the Bank?
Exactly. The fact that you're going to go see a pay-per-view live in person before me is just beyond me. But what I have over you is I saw SmackDown when they had the fist coming out of the stage, so you can't take that from me.
Touche.
But even crazier, I mean, he gets to see the first Women's Money in the Bank match and probably the most star-studded Money in the Bank match with the men's match. I mean,
and
AJ Shinsuke.
I've been an AJ fan since forever and a day ago, and I've never seen him live. So
yeah,
whatever, Scott. Whatever. Talk about SmackDown.
Well, real quick, I have a thought on Money in the Bank though as a pay-per-view. Personally, I understand why Survivor Series is in the Big Four just because it's been around for as long as it's been around. But I personally believe that Money in the Bank has much more weight to the WWE as a whole that I feel like that should be a part of the Big Four and not Survivor Series. Because this contract changes your main event scene on a moment's notice. So I feel like that should be one of your Big Four over Survivor Series. That's my thought.
Yeah, but has it been around for 25 plus years?
That's the only reason Survivor Series is in the Big Four. That is the only reason.
Well, to me, couldn't you have a title contract type match in Survivor Series all the same? Like maybe it's not a ladder match like this is.
Well, you could, but you don't. Yeah. It's Money in the Bank. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As how it sits right now, I think Money in the Bank is a more important pay-per-view than Survivor Series.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
We'll have to talk about that later. About how we would redo pay-per-views and whatnot. Just as far as like Big Four booking and. How big of a Big Four should a Big Four be?
Well, let's do that next week because we don't have a pay-per-view that's worth a damn coming up or anything for a while, for a couple weeks.
Okay.
So
yeah,
we won't have much to talk about next week anyway. No, but we definitely do need to have that discussion because we could easily talk 2 hours on that.
Yeah.
Scott, what else about SmackDown, man? I'm gonna leave it to you.
I just go into the Money in the Bank the women's Money in the Bank match. Let's go ahead or actually let's talk about. Did you guys see the Fashion Files this week?
I was running on the elliptical and watched it. It was pretty
dope. Not just the Fashion Files, but to me, the New Day officially came back this week. I don't know if anyone knows. They officially came back and they're going to get a title shot at Money in the Bank. Which man, you've seen the New Day, so it doesn't really matter if I'm going to go see them.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get to watch them wrestle, even though I wore their shirt that night.
Yeah. We got to see the old Day, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, I still think that it's cool that they're still trying to use Breezango, even though they're not in the tag team title scene.
Yeah.
Yes. Good.
I want to point that out because I think that's really cool that they're trying. But what happened to the Colognes? Because they were real hot for like 2 weeks, and then now they're jumping out to Breezango. It's just like, what?
They are natural bred jobbers. I don't think even SmackDown can really save them.
Well, and you got to feel bad for Primo because that jabroni has been playing second fiddle to everybody since he got there. Yeah.
And honestly, I couldn't care less about the main event scene right now. Not just because it's Jinder Mahal. I haven't seen him wrestle in 2 weeks. Randy Orton just comes back, and all they say is, "I'm invoking my title rematch at Money in the Bank." That is the extent of all that happened.
Yeah.
I just couldn't care less about the main event scene right now.
I agree with that. It's nothing spectacular.
I am upset, though, that the U.S. title is not being defended at Money in the Bank and that he's in the ladder match. To me, it's like you only have 2 titles and 2 singles titles, and you're throwing one of them in a Money in the Bank match. I mean, that's how they wanted to book it. So
that just forces Randy and Jinder to put on a better match. I mean, their match.
So they better put on a better match then. That's just.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, Scott. I really liked their first match, but they've got to really, really, really try hard to maybe one up the Money in the Bank match, even though it's not gonna happen. But they just need to bring their A game for sure.
Dolph Ziggler beat AJ Styles this week.
Yeah.
Was there a lot of red in the crowd? Because looking back at it, it looks like there wasn't. And I know they were pushing that buy that new shirt, fill the whole place with red.
There was quite a bit of red. I mean, when you got blue light shining on the crowd, it's kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, that's about all with the men's Money in the Bank match. Unless anyone has any other thoughts, I'm sure we'll talk about it more in the preview.
I mean, it's crazy to think that there's still a lot of time between.
Yeah. I think it's like 3 weeks. Looks like still 3 weeks out. Yeah. June 18th, I think.
Well, and I'm more excited, and I don't think it's because of the style of match that it is, but I'm more excited for that pay-per-view more than I am for the Extreme Rules pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Gracie is causing me all sorts of problems right now. She's being a little brat. Gracie, you're a mascot. You're supposed to be nice.
But
anyway, sorry. Continuing. We'll go to the women's Money in the Bank match here. which I like you said, Matt. I agree with how they had like that brawl, and it was great.
Mm-hmm.
What is your bet that Charlotte does a moonsault from the top of the ladder?
That's a gosh darn must. You ask me.
Well, I would like
But
to.
you want to waste it now, whenever she could do it down the road some other time.
I would like to reserve all predictions until our lead up,
Fair enough.
episode. You guys can talk all you want, because then that just means more strategy for me.
Well,
Okay,
I mean,
Matt, I have a question. Do you have a necessary favorite at the moment? Would you go as far as to say if you had a couple of favorites that you had over the others?
As far as this match, or just
Yes, as far as this match. Who would you say are your prime contenders right now?
Well, Noah asked me a question yesterday, and I think you put it the best. Who's going to benefit more from it? And I feel like career-wise, Tamina. As far as fan favorites and what's going to go over well with the universe, Becky Lynch. Me personally, I personally think I'm just ready for Natty to be the champ. I would like to see Natty as champion at some point. She gets close, but I don't know. But I feel like who would benefit from it the most? Career-wise, Tamina, as far as the universe goes and the fanfare and all that stuff, Becky Lynch.
Okay. Well, my question is now is like you said, there's still a couple weeks to go. What's Naomi gonna do at the pay-per-view?
Nothing.
She better be doing something, or else my niece is going to be very upset. So Naomi's face better show up in that paper.
You didn't buy that Feel the Glow shirt for nothing.
No.
I'm wondering if Lana comes back, and since she's not in the ladder match, that they put her in the title match just so Naomi has something to do.
That'd be a good way to save it.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Or
we'll have to wait and see.
I mean, hear me out on this one. This is like super radical talk right here. Asuka makes her main roster debut for one match.
No, I don't see it.
No?
Not yet.
Right.
Not yet. They would. I feel like they would have already been playing that out if she would have.
Yeah, no, gosh.
Okay, all right. You know,
I think how they're billing Asuka right now, that'd be a SummerSlam thing. I don't think they'd waste that on a Money in the Bank.
Okay, all right, I agree with that.
Countdown to SummerSlam. I love how we just ignore Great Balls of Fire.
Because it's hashtag Waste My Time 2017. That's what it is.
Oh yes. Okay. Anything else on SmackDown?
Not. Let's see. Trying to make sure. AJ Styles lost in his hometown. We already said that, but it's his home. Apparently, hometowns don't mean anything anymore, which is not a favor. Does not help Randy at all, because Money in the Bank's in St. Louis, and that's his hometown.
No. Oh, you saw the video of him RKOing his stepson?
Yes, that was amazing.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty wild.
So,
okay.
Yeah, that's SmackDown.
Well, I guess we can. We still got some time. Doing pretty good on time so far. Before we go into 205 Live and NXT and NJPW and all that business, I just want to encourage everybody to head over to the Facebook page, hit that like button. Let us know in the comments what you think of the episodes. Again, we're making that jump to YouTube. We're breaking away from the SoundCloud side of things. We really haven't posted anything there in a while. So be sure to find us on YouTube, High Risk Podcast, and Twitter, High Risk Podcast, and Facebook, High Risk. Tweet us, message us, say hi, weigh in on our discussions, and be sure to hit that share button. We're going to grow as we go. We're counting down to episode 10, and I think I have it right this time. I believe we're on 8 right now.
And don't be afraid to tell Noah he's wrong, because I sure don't.
Yeah, so definitely feel free to weigh in. Tell Noah he's wrong. Tell Scott he's wrong. Tell me I'm right, because I always
Debatable.
And yeah, just let us know how we're doing, what you think, and let your friends know about us. That being said, 205 Live and NXT and New Japan. Go.
205 Live. Nah.
Next.
Next time. That's about the way we've been feeling for a couple weeks. Really, I felt that way since 205 Live has started. I just don't like.
I mean, looking back, you can definitely say that 205 Live has had a couple of high spots. They are very little blips in the grand scheme, but looking at 205 Live in their history, they've had some pretty decent moments, but nothing that'll put it alongside of Raw or SmackDown. It's never going to be there.
Well,
so
and to me, it's this. They're being from somebody who, and you as well, who's watched it, the Attitude Era, kind of coming out of that ruthless aggression into what we have now. Mm-hmm. Everything is just a watered down, diluted version of what it could be. So exactly. I understand that the cruiserweights are the high flyers, and oh my gosh, to me that works better when the whole show isn't nothing but that.
Yeah, which I mean,
if it's going to be this watered down version, because the lucha stuff, it's ridiculous, and I never get tired of watching that. But again, it's not just they're not billing themselves as just that. They're telling stories as well, and I feel like right now WWE shows have too many sponsors to please. It's too watered down for that kind of a show to appeal to me.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, really, that honestly is it for 205 Live. There's not a lot to talk about. I know that. Most of your big 205 Live storyline developments are going on Raw. And, I mean, you had Austin Aries talk a little bit, but, I mean, not a lot really going on. On to NXT.
I got you.
CC.
I know some fallout there.
Yeah.
So Tommaso Ciampa comes out and talks about him and Johnny Gargano. So Ciampa did get hurt. I think he tore his ACL or something like that.
So is it a work or is it legit?
No, he hurt his ankle. From what I understand, is he hurt his ankle like the Thursday before TakeOver, and then while protecting his ankle in that match, he ended up screwing up his knee. So he's going to need to have surgery, and I heard there's a chance he might not be back till next year.
Oh man.
Well,
so yeah, that
sucks.
For
trying to do it yourself.
Ooh.
Wow.
No, I really do feel bad about it, especially when it's an injury as far as the knees or the Achilles tendons or your back or anything like that, because it seems like people just never come back 100% the way they were. So.
And I mean, the bad thing about it too is that he got a pretty big injury while he's still on NXT. Yeah, I mean, and then you can also look at it like, well, at least he got his injury now and not while he's on main.
Well, but then, is he ever going to get to that point?
Exactly,
because you're going into Hideo Itami territory.
I was just about to mention that, yeah. So there's a fine line between just, a year is a long time. So hopefully in that time, they say distance makes the heart grow fonder. So.
Well, it'd be like 6 or 7 months. I'm not talking like next June. I'm talking like January, like 2018.
Well, to me too, you're going out as a heel. So I mean, to me, I guess you're gonna get the reaction they want is anything at all. So if it's a boo, then okay, great. I feel like it's gonna be a Batista kind of thing, where you go out as a heel and you come back and you just never have that steam behind you again. And so, I don't know. It's too far up in the air right now, too far out to really know. It's just unfortunate now because I was kind of looking forward to see. I didn't really care for those two as a tag team.
That was your hottest angle coming out of Chicago. So
yeah, and that to me, their tag team stuff kind of wore off on me. I'm sure it did some other people too. So I was excited for the feud that they could have, and we're not going to get that. So
okay, you had the UK champion Pete Dunne. He did some stuff. And apparently they are doing a weekly WWE UK series, I guess, on the network.
No.
Why?
No.
I don't get it. Why are we doing?
Next.
It
Okay.
all goes back to calling a pay-per-view the stipulation of a match. Extreme Rules, Hell in a Cell. Now you're having the UK title. Only somebody from the UK can hold it, which you guys know how I feel about that. I think it's ridiculous. You're isolating. It's not that I have a problem with UK people. It's that you're isolating the title so much, And it's not that those, and those guys can compete with the best of them. NXT takeover stuff. That match was one of the better ones there. So give them a spot on NXT. Give them a little bit on Raw. You'll give three cruiserweight matches on Raw. Cut one of those out and put the UK guys on there. Okay, rant over.
That's really about it. In 2 weeks, there will be a triple threat elimination match for the NXT Women's Championship and a takeover rematch when Asuka will defend her against Nikki Cross and Ruby Riott.
Are they gonna try to retcon their past match in hopes to make this one even better?
Don't know. That's really it for NXT. From what I see. I mean, there's a couple.
None of our favorite guy.
Mr. Black did not show up. No.
Rip.
Oh, and on top of everything else, NXT has a new entrance on now again.
Another one?
And it's trash in my opinion.
So they replaced the trash one with something from the very bottom of the trash can.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look into it now.
We'll be watching that tonight.
Yeah.
At least the entrance to hear what it sounds like.
Yeah.
That's really it on NXT. On to the Super Juniors.
I tell you what, I watched some highlight stuff from that. My favorite thing ever. Oh boy, I don't. This is why we have Noah talk about it, because he says these Japanese names like he's been saying it from birth. We had two dudes. They were outside the ring, clear by the barricades, and then he moved. So the one dude got off the crossface that he had in, put the gate in front of the guy, and ran back to the ring. At the time, the ref was at the count of 14. For those of you that don't watch NJPW stuff, they have a count of 20, and it's a faster count. It's 1, 2, 3. So he goes to the ring. About time he gets in there, the ref's at 16. The other guy tries to go to the ring, and he doesn't make it in time. Perfect. I loved it. It was awesome. It was awesome. He caged him in.
I thought he actually made it in.
I did not, from what I saw.
Okay. Maybe never mind. I don't know.
But a lot of great competitors. Will Ospreay, he's getting pretty high up there in the tournament.
Well, actually, I think he won his block.
Yeah.
So Will Ospreay won Block A. I do believe I have a new favorite indie wrestler though.
Whom?
Marty Scurll.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot about that guy.
He comes out with an umbrella. You just gotta watch him.
What
He does like a
about? Sounds just like Jack Gallagher.
Yeah, we have somebody that does that, Scott. So
no, he comes out with a cooler umbrella. Trust me. He's in the Bullet Club. So does Jack
Gallagher
Gallagher have a Bullet Club symbol on his umbrella? I don't think so.
That's been this week's
no comment.
High risk.
But no, he does this one spot where he acts like he breaks the guy's fingers, and I don't know how they do it, but it is such a loud pop. I don't know how
it's Japan. They probably broke that dude's fingers. They don't play.
But no, this guy is also from England, so it might actually just be Jack Gallagher on the indie scene. Who knows?
Oh snap!
Is this the blonde guy, the short blonde hair?
It's kind of got
like an.
He does like he has like the mask. He has like the mask with like it's from like the Amazons.
Okay.
I'll send you guys a picture of it real quick.
Okay.
But no, he was in the Super Juniors. I'm gonna have to find something. But no, yeah, he's just from the couple of different matches I've watched online of him, he's pretty legit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which a lot of the names in that tournament are really legit people. Those are all people that you should really be looking out for.
That's his entrance when he comes out. That's what he looks like when he comes out of this. He has like the little bird-looking mask thing. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It legit looks like, kind of looks like a pigeon face, but I mean, it's...
Well, yeah, it's like did you guys ever play like Assassin's Creed 2?
Oh, yeah.
Noah.
Yeah.
I couldn't, man.
Like the medical guys. It's like the
Yeah.
mask of the guys who sell you the medical stuff is.
Allow me to go on a mini rant, 10 seconds or less. Assassin's Creed 1, you have to jump around and collect the little flags. And I couldn't collect the flags, so I gave up on it. It was just terrible.
Sorry, audience, you can't see these pictures. That's why Matt needs to get on getting the actual screen working.
Hey, we're working on it. We're working on it.
Anyway, if you guys go look up Marty Skrull, he's pretty legit. I like him.
Or if you can't remember that, just type in Bullet Club Umbrella. That's really all Scott cares about this guy.
No, it's so much more than that. Quit hating, Matt. Quit hating. Just because you
Jack Gallagher does the same thing, and you're not all about him.
He does. No, they do. Well,
literally,
right,
I'm looking at this.
Got me.
I'm looking at this person, and it's literally the same thing as Jack Gallagher.
No, it's it's different. It really is. Jack Gallagher is about as baby faced as you can get, and this guy is not a baby face.
I don't know. He looks pretty baby faced to me.
No. Just something else right now. I can't deal with you.
Okay, still counting down to the NJPW United States. That's a tournament, right? They're doing, or is it the Super Juniors? Everyone's that?
No. It's like a mock G. It's what like. So we're having the United States, championship going on for New Japan. But most of the competitors who are going to be wrestling in the G1 Climax tournament later that month are going to be wrestling in the same tournament for the United States Championship belt. The only thing that I don't know is it going to be all Americans, or is it going to be most of the people wrestling in the G1 Climax tournament? Guess what? Most of them are Japanese. So, yeah.
I'm wondering if it's just going to be like defended in the U.S. because isn't New Japan opening up their own dojo in like Los Angeles?
Yeah, they've got one down there, and then I think they're looking a little bit north of California as well to open another dojo up.
Vince. Mm-hmm. They're marking their territory on your turf, Uncle Vinny. What are you gonna do?
Get the India crowd.
Yeah.
We don't need the Japs. We got the Indians. Yeah.
India. Great. Now we have to edit that out. Thanks, Noah.
We're not racist here, guys. I promise. We are not racist.
No,
we're really not. Our stepdad's black, so it's our claim to fame. Scott, any more about your boy with the umbrella?
No, just go look up Marty Skrull. He's pretty legit. He actually won the Battle of Los Angeles, which is a really big indie tournament. He won that last year.
Too. It's a really good movie.
No one cares about your movie, Matt. This is a wrestling podcast. It's not a movie podcast. All right, guys. So that was this week's episode of.
Now you think you're gonna take my job? No.
Go ahead and close us out then, Matt. Go ahead.
Well, is there anything else we want to talk about? Anything else on the NJPW side? Anything we think we missed for anything overall?
Not in particularly.
Guys, if you're wanting to watch NJPW, you can catch it on Access TV Friday nights, I believe, at 7:00. Or you can subscribe to their version of the WWE Network. It's their content and everything. NJPW World, I believe it's the same cost, $10, $9.99.
I think it's after everything goes through, it winds up being like just over $9.
Okay. So, but make sure, cannot stress this enough because we're still having problems with Noah's account. Make sure your bank knows that you're making transactions with people in Japan.
Yeah.
For some reason that freaks them out. So,
is that
just make sure they know.
That, and then another really cool thing that's coming up with us is that we are dabbling in some more creative content. What we got going on, which will hopefully be up soon, is we did a little simulation of what the women's Money in the Bank match could turn out to be. We got some interesting results there, some nice banter, a lot of good back and forth.
As long as it was Eva Marie again.
Oh God, no.
Oh, we it's funny you mentioned that. We'll let you watch that later,
Yeah.
Scott, and for you to figure out why it's
Mhm.
funny you mentioned that.
But
It's not a bad thing. You're gonna be fine. It's just funny that you
You
mentioned.
better go through a table. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I mean,
we'll see. But yeah, we got it up over there. We're trying to figure out some audio issues, but as soon as we figure those out, you can catch that on the very same YouTube account you're on now. But until then, go ahead and close it out.
all right, guys. Again, another awesome week in professional wrestling. We encourage you to watch anything you can. If there's a local wrestling promotion that's near you, go out and support that. Follow these guys. You never know who might be the next big name in the business. That being said, on behalf of my co-hosts Noah and Scott, we thank you guys for listening. You can catch us right here on YouTube. Again, we're going to have some more content coming to you pretty soon. That's High Risk Podcast on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook. Like the page, comment, message us, let us know, introduce yourselves, all that good stuff. That's High Risk on Facebook. And then tweet us, retweet us, love us, follow us, be our friends, make us famous, all that good stuff. On Twitter, it's High Risk Podcast. Thank you guys for listening. As always tuck your chin.